Hello everyone, my name is Mary and I'm from Athena's Bibliotheca, and today we are going to do the video that I've been talking about for the past few videos, or at least the ones I've been making since I filmed this part of the video. You probably seen from the title, I'm not sure what I'm going to call this series yet, but it will be a series, or at least that's the plan anyway. And basically what this is going to be is a vlog series where I'm reading through every book that's been in the Literally Dead Book Club backlist. So every pick I'm going to be reading and hopefully enjoy. Basically, how this idea came to be is that I've been thinking for a while, like I watch a wide variety of people on BookTube, but some of my favorite YouTubers read a lot of thriller, horror, mystery type books. That is not my genre of expertise. I'm telling you that now. I read the Stephanie Plum series by Janet Ivanovich. If you ever heard of this series, I read up to like 23, I think, or something, and it's kind of mystery adjacent. I mean, it is a mystery. It's about a bounty hunter that is trying to get the people so that she can keep money. I've read The One by John Mars. I've read Someone You Can Build a Nest In by John Wiswell. Fantastic. Love that book so much. What else have I read? If you count Monstrous, I have also read that, or a few volumes of that series. Super good. I love it. And I would say it's horror, at least horror adjacent, because there's some pretty intense bloody scenes, but you know, to each their own, I guess. And I've also read Bunny by Mona Awad, which I thought was okay. I'm definitely not a bunny obsessed person, but I have read it. It is on the list. And those are basically all the books that I've read that are horror, thriller, mystery. I've possibly read more than that, but those are what's on my top of my head right this second, so that's what I'm going with. So as previously stated, very limited knowledge in this area, which is why I kind of wanted to get into it, and I thought, like, what's the best way to do it than to have something choose the books for me instead of choosing them myself. So I was like, oh, the Literally Dead Book Club, which is a horror, thriller, mystery book club, has all these books that they have chosen for this club. And I think that would be a cool video to watch, a video series to watch, is this person that has very limited knowledge about this genre, or has very limited experience with this genre, read through all of them. I'm excited about it. Hopefully it sounds exciting for you. I keep talking about Literally Dead Book Club, and if you don't know what it is, hi, welcome to BookTube. The Literally Dead Book Club was created in 2020 by Kayla from Books and Lala, and it's a book club where she picks 10 books a year, a book a month from February to November. January and December doesn't have a book normally. So I'm going to read all the books that they've had chosen from the start to whenever I catch up. And if my calculations are correct and I keep to the schedule that I've set for myself for this series, I won't catch up until like 2028. So if I don't give up on the series, or if I decide that I'm still I get really into thriller, horror, all those genres, it won't be done until 2028. Hopefully you enjoy this series, and hopefully I continue to enjoy it, because it's going to be a while. And since I'm talking about how long it's going to be, I'm going to say that the way that I have planned is that I will release a video about every 2 months-ish, and each video is going to have 5 books. That's the hope. And I'm going to share how it goes with all these stories, and hopefully I enjoy them, because I'm excited about it. I hope that it gets me out of this reading. I don't quite have my reading mojo back. It's really not great. So like, I'm hoping that I can finish these 5 books soon. Or like before my like date that I want to have this video uploaded, but we'll see. If for some reason you don't have the Literally Dead Book Club's picks memorized or something. Let me tell you what the first 5 picks were, because yes, I am going to try to do them in order. So the first ever Literally Dead Book Club pick was The Other People by CJ Tudor in February of 2020. The March pick of 2020 was Platform 7 by Lewis Doughty. The April pick was You Are Not Alone by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. The May pick was Fragments of the Lost by Megan Miranda. Also, in case you were wondering, I put out a September TBR vlog and telling you what my magical readathon TBR was. And this was the one that I chose to read for the dream interpretation prompt. And finally, the last book that we will be reading in this vlog is the June pick, The Guest List by Lucy Foley. And this is the other book that I picked in that video for the orbital shift prompt, in case you're curious. So, I have a lot of reading to do, and so let's get started with reading The Other People by CJ Tudor. So I've read some of The Other People by CJ Tudor. This is just the thing, but I do have the book right here. I'm about a third of the way into it, and it's fine. And it starts with Gabe. He's coming home from work and he's stuck in traffic, and he thinks he sees his daughter in the back of this car he doesn't recognize. He's like, that can't be. That's absolutely not true. Like, it couldn't be her. So he pulls over the side of the road and calls home to see how everything's going. And police answers the phone and says, "Where have you been? We have something to tell you about your wife and daughter." Lo and behold, his wife and daughter are dead. Dead? I don't know yet. Something weird is going on, obviously. Then after that phone call, they jump to 3 years in the future, and he is still traveling this road, and that's basically all he does, is travel this road trying to look for any evidence that he wasn't lying when he said he saw his daughter. That's the one person that we're following. The next person that we follow is someone that works as a waitress named Katie, and she works as a waitress at one of the service stations that Gabe tends to frequent on his travels down this road. And she is like gotten used to seeing him, and like he comes in quite frequently and like on a schedule, so like she recognizes him, and she calls him the Thin Man. And then the other group, which is 2 people, we get from both their perspectives, by the way. The one is an older woman named Fran, and she and the younger girl named Alice. So Fran and Alice are both running away from something, and Fran is driving, like trying to get away from these people. We don't know who she's trying to get away from, but she's trying to get away from them. And Alice, she has narcolepsy. She falls asleep randomly, and like out of nowhere she could be awake, and then she's not awake and she's asleep. And one of the things that tends to make this happen is mirrors for some reason. You get a little bit more into that later on, but I feel like that's kind of spoilery, so I'm not going to say much about that, except she doesn't like mirrors. Let me just say that. And basically that's how it starts, or like from every perspective anyway. I am interested, I'm intrigued to find out more, but like also like I keep putting this book down and not picking it back up, which could be my own fault because I am in a reading slump kinda, and I was hoping this could get me out of it, but I don't see that happening. But maybe once I get a little bit further into it, I'll get more invested. I do know that, so like the book is called The Other People, and I'm assuming they're a group. I didn't read the inside flap or anything to know what this book was about. I really didn't. So like I don't know who the other people are. Neither, that's a lie. I think that there's a couple of people who do know. Gabe is not one of them though. Gabe is just recently got even the name of the other people. He found something that said the other people on it. And he's looking for, he doesn't even know what they are, who they are, if they are people, or if it's something, or if it's just nothing, and he doesn't even, like, but he's in the process of looking at it where I'm at right now. I have no idea who the other people are. Because it's not saying in this book yet. We're a third of the way through from a story called Other People, and I don't know who the other people are. They're just other people. They're just minding their own business, trying to be other people, but you just keep getting in their way, so they're trying to figure it out, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, I don't know if this update was any helpful, but also, like, I don't have much to say about it, except I'm intrigued enough that I don't want to stop. Like, I don't think it's a bad book. I'm not caring as much as I thought I would about what's going on. Like, I want to know, so I'm going to continue reading. But at the same time, like, I set this book down and I don't pick it up for a while, so do with that what you will. But I could also blame that on my reading slump. Also, other than this book, or well, dust jacket in this case, but book, if you're curious, this dress, I did indeed make it. Yep. And it's supposed to be, it's not finished yet. It's an incomplete dress, and it's supposed to be a cosplay for this character. If you don't know who that is, it's Mimi from Digimon. In case you're curious about why there's a dress on a dress form behind me, there you go. I'm not going to tell you how long it's been like this and not finished. You don't need to know that. So I'm going to hopefully continue reading this and maybe have a more in-depth thoughts about what's going on. I mean, I have some theories about what is going on, but like, I can't tell you those theories. I don't want to spoil the book for you. I don't know how to communicate what's going on without spoiling it, so I have some theories, but like, also, like, I wish I cared more than I do at this moment. So we'll see how it goes. I know it seems like I just talked to you, because in this video I did just talk to you, but it's actually been a few days since I talked to you, and I haven't actually read much, but I had some things that I wanted to say. Before I do that though, I've been having problems with my Libby app, like connecting it to my library. Like, it was working, but then I had to do a verification thing and it wasn't going through. I was like, I have this card and why won't it work? So I went to my library. I actually walked to my library. Man, I should have videoed that. Yeah, I'm not good at videoing outside of my room, so give me a minute on that section. But so my brother and we went to the library, and I asked them, talked to them about connecting the card, and they figured it out. And then they informed me that I can also get into other libraries as well, because they're like partnered with other library groups on Libby. So now I have like so many options, like more than I did before, and that makes me so excited. Also, another thing is that the other people, I know I've said before that audiobooks are not my go-to, which is true. I cannot just listen to an audiobook. I will get distracted, but I do normally say that I can listen to one if I have the physical copy as well, or like an actual copy. I think I can probably do the same thing if I had an ebook as well. I got the audiobook for this, so I'm hoping that is like the trick to making me get my reading mojo back, because I don't know, it's way easier for me to put down a book when I'm just physically reading it than if I am also audiobooking it. I'm also listening to the audio, because it's like, I don't know, more steps. It's really not that much harder, but in my head, I feel like I'm tricking myself, like, you should keep reading because it's not. And then you have like the length, the time it's going to take you to read it. And I'm like, okay, Mary, you only have to do, there's like 2 more hours in this video, in this thing, and then it's over. Not that I want it to be over, but like, also I want to know what's going to happen, how it's going to end. I don't know why I'm explaining. You know what I'm saying. So I'm hoping that having the audiobook for this is going to help. So far, I have read a little bit. I haven't really read that much since I talked to you, I don't think. I don't remember where I was the last time I talked to you, but a lot's happened. Gabe the main guy who's searching for his daughter. I don't remember if I said the names of the. Anyways, Gabe, he figured out who the other people are. Well, he found their website on the dark web. He found the access point to see the other people, which suspicious. I definitely think something's gonna happen with that. Obviously, it's called Other People, and even from reading, so like he read, there's like a frequently asked questions section on the website, and even from, like even before we got to the website, I'm like, I feel like we shouldn't talk to other people. Like there's other things previously before he found that website that I'm like, I don't know about this. Also, I didn't mention the Samaritan, or like Gabe calls him the Samaritan. I'm like, I feel like he's working for the other people or something. Something's there. Also, so like things that have happened, we got connections to certain things, which I'm not 100% sure what the connection is, but there is a connection there. And I thought I knew what the connection was, and then I kept reading a little bit further and found out a little bit more information. I'm like, okay, now I'm not sure that's what the connection is. I'm trying to be vague without actually spoiling it. Probably if you read the Other People, you might know what I'm talking about. It has to do with like, there's like a extra point of view that we don't know much about. Like you get like one, maybe 2 pages in this, and it's in italicized. I'm talking about that the connection to that part of the story. If you've read this before, you know what I'm talking about. And then also, we've had someone get stabbed. We've had someone almost drown, or I don't know. Maybe, I mean, that hasn't come back up since that incident happened. So I don't know what actually went down in there. We've also learned quite a bit of connections between the different point of views are starting to connect. You're starting to see how they come together. And I always find that interesting when there's a book that has multiple point of views and you're not sure how they connect. When they start to connect is like so fun. I love that part of a book. It's just really fun. Be like, oh yeah. I mean, also like it's also very nerve-wracking because I'm not sure what's going on, and I'm like, I don't know. Especially since, so like a lot of the things that I read, I'm like, obviously they're gonna be fine. In a thriller book, I'm like, every one of them could die. I don't know. I'm not, but I'm not completely obsessed with any of the characters. So like, I don't know if I would really care if any of them died. But like, also I'm intrigued and I want to know. And I'm like, things keep happening. Like, I liked Gabe well enough at the start. I thought he was okay. And then the more I hear about his past, I'm like, you did some weird things in your past. I know it. Like, something's gone down. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but I want to know. I feel like I'm talking way different than I was before. But the thing is that the last update, I know that I talked to you like after it was been a minute since I was reading. And this update I just was reading. So like I think that's also part of my slumpiness that I keep bringing up, is that I will be very into the story, but when I put it down and if I don't pick it up really quickly, I'll get like distance from it, and I'm like, I don't know, like it's fine, it's whatever, I don't need to pick it up right now. And I'm like, Mary, you're doing a video on it, you need to pick it up. If you don't want to DNF it, you gotta pick it up. And I'm like, I don't want to DNF it because I want to know what's going on. Alice, I want to know about Alice and Fran. I just like they're bringing out this whole like mother-daughter thing, but I know that's not true. I know that's not what happened. And then you find out something that Fran did, and I'm like, why? Like, why did you do that? And I just want to know. I don't want to know the reasoning. I want to know like what's going on in their head. We have learned some things with Katie as well, and like some of her background, and it makes me intrigued. But I think I'm more intrigued with Gabe's side of the story. Okay, I think my like ranking of who I'm most intrigued with is probably Gabe first, then Fran and Alice, and then Katie is how I think I'm leaning. Maybe Fran and Alice more than Gabe. I'm not sure. Those ones could switch around. But I just was in their point of view, so maybe that is why. I'm more curious about them. Anyways, that was a long, rambly thing. Hopefully you got something out of that. I don't know. But hopefully after I leave this update, I'll go back to reading this and it won't take me a few days to update you. Anyways, hopefully back to reading this book. And this is just a thing because I didn't want to take the time to put it back on the book, obviously. So, see you in a second. I wish I could say that I started reading right after the last clip, but I didn't. But now I'm at the point where I have like less than 100 pages. Some of the people, the different point of views have met up at this point, and they're going somewhere, and I'm so nervous about where they're going because I don't think they're going to a safe place like they think they are going. And it's making me so nervous. I want them to be all safe, but I don't think they're all gonna be safe. There's definitely gonna be some hurt people coming. Also, I just want to say, for this being called The Other People, I mean, maybe, I don't know, like, I think they're important, but like, I also feel like, I don't know how to say anything about the other people without being spoilery. So I'm just gonna say, like, it fits, the title fits, but also at the same time, maybe I'll change my mind with how I feel about it later. You probably don't know what I'm saying, but like, I don't know how to say what I want to say about the other people without spoiling it. So I'm just going to just leave it at that. And if you read this, maybe you can understand what I'm saying. And if not, well, I don't know what to say. Everything is so very interesting, and I actually really enjoyed finding all of the connections. So at this point, I'm pretty sure we know how everything is connected a little bit. Like, there's still some questions. I still have less than 100 pages left, like 80 pages left. I don't know. So like, there's certain questions I still have that are not answered, that I expect to be answered soon. But the majority, so like the point of views, is what I'm saying. I know how they're connected, if that makes... Sorry, I don't know where these hiccups are coming from, but anyways, yeah. So I'm very much enjoying this, even if it gives me so much anxiety. I'm like, I don't know if you should be doing what you're doing right now, but I can't stop you because you are a fictional character. I'm going to hopefully finish it, because I will. I am going to come off of this and I am going to continue reading it, and I will tell you how I feel about it when it's over. Possibly tomorrow morning, but I will tell you. I'm gonna get back to reading now. Okay, so I finally finished The Other People by C.J. Tudor, and I am so glad that I read this, actually. It was so very interesting, and definitely not the normal type of book that I read. It was a very more, like, towards the end, I was anxious because I was like, I thought something else was going to happen in the end, which is probably a good thing, I guess. I wasn't expecting what happened. There is something in the end that makes me like, okay, sure. Like, there was a little hints of something like that, but then, like, that was a lot. I don't know how to say what I'm talking about without telling you. If you've read it, you might remember what I'm talking about, or you might have just blanked that from your memory because, like, what? But overall, besides that little part right there, very good. I really enjoyed it. I also, like, Gabe gets asked a question in the end, and I'm like, yeah, why didn't we think of that before? Like, this whole time, you never once thought about that, or at least I never did. I never once thought about the question that was asked to him. If you read it, you know what question I'm talking about, but like, I'm like, this is why I will probably never catch a know if a plot twist is coming or not, because I just guess I don't pay attention. I like turn my brain off when I'm reading a book or something. I don't know. But overall, I really did enjoy it, except for a few things that I was nitpicky about. It was good. I'm glad that I was able to read it and that I chose to do this so that I can read this. It also makes me really want to check out other books by CJ Tudor. I think there's a couple of books, so like it talks about the Chalk Man. I've heard about that one, and I've heard about The Chain, I think, is also by CJ Tudor. I don't know. All sounds very interesting, and I wish that we got more of the other people in this, because I think that part of the story was very interesting, except it wasn't. I think it was explored enough in this story for the story it was trying to tell, but also it has me intrigued and I want to know more, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm not mad about it. Like, I don't think it detracted from the story for it not to be as present as you'd think it would be with it being called to other people, but I'm just curious. Let me know if anyone else has had read any of other CJ Tudor's works, if the other people pops up, because I know sometimes authors will do that. They'll like have something pop up in other works, and I was wondering if CJ Tudor lets the other people come up in other works. I don't know, it just feels like something that could slip in, you know? You could slip it in, even if that's not what the book itself is about. Anyways, it's cool. This is a very intriguing book, and you really badly want to know what's going on. My favorite parts, though, were when you'd get pieces of how the different points of view in the story were connected. I tried to like figure it out, like why are we getting all these points of view kind of deal. And I caught some of it before it was revealed, but some of it I'm like, no, I didn't get it until it was basically thrown in my face. I'm glad this was the start to reading the Literally Dead book club picks. Good pick for the first book for Kayla's book club. But I do have to start the next book. So it would be March's pick in 2020 was Platform 7 by Lewis Doughty. Also, I just wanted to say, because I just need to say it, is I got this book from Thrift Books, right? Isn't that lovely? It's falling apart. But I did get it from Thrift Books, so I don't know much about this. I didn't know much about the other people either, or what it was about, but I did recognize CJ Tudor as an author. I don't recognize any of this, but looking up like the cover of the book, there is a movie about this. I'm pretty sure it's this specific book. So like maybe I can watch that for this vlog too. We'll see. I mean, obviously I'd have to finish this book first, but maybe that is a good thing to start with. I did actually read the flap. I know, I never do that, like ever. I'm like, oh, I want to read that. I don't need to know anything else. But from the sounds of it, it's kind of a ghost situation, because like it talks about someone going to a railway station, and he goes to the furthest platform away from the night staff, and there's this girl named Lisa Evans that she knows what he's about to do, which I'm guessing is to jump into the train. It ends with, no one is more desperate to understand what connects her to this man than Lisa Evans herself. After all, she was the first of the two to die. So like, she is still there, but she's also alive. So like, I'm curious. I'm intrigued already and wanting to know what is going on in the story. So I'm going to do that. So time to get reading. This is going to be a short part for this one because I think I'm DNFing this book. And I feel bad about it only because I I didn't even get 50 pages into it and I already want to DNF it. So I was going to try today to read at least to page 100, but I can't get myself to even pick this up. Which I kind of was having that problem with other people, but I know that was like I was interested. Like I wanted to read the other people. This one I don't. Like I don't care. And I thought it would be interesting to follow like because the main point of view is from a ghost, which is very interesting, or it sounds like it would be interesting. I think the thing that's making me not want to read it is the way that this author is doing the perspective. Like you're you're always from the ghost's perspective, or the main ghost's perspective, but it doesn't always seem like you are, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Maybe if you've read this book, you would know what I'm talking about, and if you're not, like, it's no big deal. But I don't care. And so like part one, which is where I finished part one, because the book is split into parts, and that's like page 44, I think, was the end of part one. So yeah, I only got 4 pages into this 400 and something page book, and I already want to DNF it, and I'm just gonna DNF it because like I don't care. I was hoping that I would be able to go a couple episodes in this series before I DNF'd anything, but I don't think I can make myself keep reading this book, which usually I would give it more to decide that. But I think the thing that made me so like I probably would have kept going, try to get myself to keep going, but I decided that I was going to look at Kayla's video. Like I searched for the video that she like if she talked about this in a video, and she did, and she didn't like it. I think she ended up giving it like 2 stars or something, and she said like the majority of it is just you watching this woman get lighted for the majority of the book until like the very end. And I'm like, that does not sound fun to me. Like I don't care. I don't want to know. I was going to try to find because I said that there was like a movie. It's actually a TV series, a British TV series. And I was going to try to find it online to watch, and I was at least going to do that. But I can't find an access, like a way to watch it that I have access to. So I can't even do that for you. So I'm sorry. This is kind of disappointing to me as well. But hopefully you don't care. And I know I never care when other booktubers DNF books, and I'm always like, why are you apologizing? Like, it's fine. Like, do what you want. But I think it's just because it's just the second book that I'm doing for this series, and I'm already DNFing it. But if I'm being completely honest, when I first saw the list of the first 10 books in that were picked for the Literally Dead book club, this was one of the ones that I was like, I feel like I'm not going to like it. And it's mostly because I don't hear a single thing about this book. Like some of the other ones I've like at least heard about the author or that book specifically. This one I didn't even know it existed. I most definitely heard Kayla talk about it because I've been following her since she started the Literally Dead book club. But like I don't remember, and obviously no one else talks about it, or at least I don't hear anybody talk about it. And then I also looked up the reviews on Storygraph, and it's like a 3.0, which doesn't actually bother me because I don't ever pay attention to the things. But and then I was looking for like 5-star reviews so that they'd help me to like actually get invested to want to read it. And I'm like, they were talking about how fast paced it was and stuff, and I was like, I am not getting that. Like that doesn't no, like I don't agree. Hopefully the next one is better. And I'll actually finish it. That's the hope. Well, at least there's a better chance of me finishing this when I want to, because I just got rid of the thickest book in this group of books for this episode. So I mean, that's good. At least it was the longest one that I DNF'd. We have that positive anyway. Oh, and also since I don't like it, I'm not too bothered about the fact that this one is falling apart. The next book will be You Are Not Alone by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. Hopefully I like it. I have heard things about the authors before, but I don't really know much about them. I've heard good and bad things, I guess, about them. I don't know. This is what happens when you go into things without knowing anything. But I will start this, and the next time you see me, I'll probably tell you what it's about, possibly. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully I will be enjoying it. Let's start reading, I guess. Well, for a minute there, I thought I might actually DNF this for a second there. I was stuck on like page 44, page 36, I think, for a few days. I just didn't want to pick it up, which, you know, as I've been saying throughout this, I am in a reading slump, and that's how my reading slump goes. But I'm like, Mary, you are not, give it a little bit longer, because you already DNF'd one book, and so I got myself to finally continue a little bit. I am liking it better, but also the story is making me so anxious. I do know a little bit more, so I can tell you what it's about, I guess. So we're following Shay Miller, who's not having the best life right now. She's like not liking her job. She's trying to find a better one. She has a roommate that she kind of likes, but he's in a relationship with another woman, so that's interesting. She doesn't really like it. And to start the story off, when she's going to her it's either the temp job or interview. I can't remember for sure. And she was at the train station, and she ends up watching this woman that we find out is named Amanda jump in front of a train, which, if you've ever read Platform 7, which is the book I previously read, which you know because it hasn't been that long between books, is very similar to a scene in Platform 7, which I find interesting because it's just 2 books in a row for the Literally Dead Book Club pick. And I want to know if they mentioned that at all in the live show, because I think that's weird. Anyways, that's besides the point. She is obviously distraught about this because she just saw someone jump in front of a train. She gets kind of very much in her head about it. And we eventually meet Cassandra and Jane, who knew Amanda, and they have some kind of secrets. I think I know what the secret is, or the secrets, but I'm not 100% sure, so, I mean, obviously I'm not going to say because you're not supposed to know. And they have seen Shay coming around a lot because she's trying to figure out why Amanda would do this. And Cassandra and Jane think that she might know more about Amanda than she's saying, because they only have one side of the story. They think Shay knows something, or Amanda told Shay something, which is why she keeps coming around. And they want to make sure that she doesn't. Things ensue from there. And let me tell you, anytime Shay interacts with Cassandra and Jane, I am so anxious. Like, I know that they are not in this relationship, this friendship that is brewing for the same thing that Shay is, and it makes me really sad because Shay is she's just sad. She's just upset. She wants to make friends, but I will say that Shay also makes me uncomfortable with how she goes about. I don't know, I don't think she's all right either, which I am actually quite thankful that they made her go to therapy, or at least they tried to make her go to therapy. The authors, Shay ends up going to therapy for a little bit. Anyways, I don't know. I'm just anxious and I'm scared every time Cassandra and Jane are talking with Shay, and I'm pretty sure, absolutely sure, something's gonna happen with Shay, and I'm gonna be sad about it. I'm not gonna say I am enjoying myself, but like also I'm okay. I'm like I will continue. I'm not liking it as much as I like the other people, sadly, but I'm not DNFing it quite yet. So there's that. I'm gonna continue reading and see where it takes me, I guess. Also, You Are Not Alone. Very unsettling now that I'm reading the story. It's like, you are not alone. You have us to be with you. Sounds so nice. Until you read this book and you're like, nope, I'd rather be alone, actually. It's probably gonna get worse. It's probably gonna get more unsettling, and I'm probably gonna get more uncomfortable. So, that's gonna be fun to get to. Okay, first of all, sorry about how loud my laptop is. I don't know. I need a new one, but that's besides the point. But as you can see, I'm watching a Books and Mala video, which is pertinent. And I was like, oh, she's doing a Literally Dead book club video specifically for the Literally Dead book club. Sometimes she just puts them in like her wrap-ups or her TBR videos that she makes, or quarterly TBRs that she makes. Anyways, but she made a whole video and I was like, man, I should have had my like reaction. I should have filmed it for the video, but obviously that didn't happen because I'm already into it. But so like she talked about the September pick, which is when I'm filming this right now, is in September. And that's the Stephen Graham Jones Killer on the Road and the Babysitter Lives novella bind-up thing, which I already knew about because she talked about it before somewhere else. I can't remember where, but... And I'm not sure about that one. Like, I don't know. Like, I have no very strong opinions on that. And the next one is The Treasure Hunters Club by Tom Ryan, which I'll show you. So this book right here, if you can see that little small thing, but it sounds fun. It sounds like, she says it's like some people call it cozy mystery fantasy, and I'm like, it sounds like something I would have fun time with, so I'm okay with that. But then she goes and talks about this one, and I'm like, just looking at it grosses me out. The books where they talk about women end up, I mean, I don't know what this one really is about, like, I don't know for certain, but like, it looks like one of those books, because I kind of didn't continue, because I saw this book and I was like, I want to talk about her pegging this as a book club pick, because I have to eventually read it when I get to this in like a couple years. Futility, it looks like one of those books where a woman ends up craving raw meat, and as someone who doesn't like meat in general, those stories gross me out. They scare me a little bit, not gonna lie. Specifically because I don't want to hear about the taste of the meat, or like any of that like imaging. This is why I don't want to read Tenders of Flesh, because I think I would be so grossed out by the meat descriptions. So lucky me. Let me continue to see what it's about first before I'll be back to you in a second. So we got Aaron, Stephanie, and Allie. I hope you'll love it. It seems like something that could be on our Allie again. Oh, Allie's gonna be on it. I'm excited. I love her. Okay, so like, it doesn't sound so bad. Maybe there's not as much meat eating in it as I'm expecting. Let's hope and pray. But that's next year me's problem to deal with. Good luck to her. I am about halfway through the book now, so I just finished part 1. And to be honest, I am now questioning whether or not I should be blaming my reading slump for how long it's been taking me to read this book, or if I just don't like this book. I don't hate this book, but like also they're so slow, I guess, about telling you anything about what's going on. It's just a lot of creepy relationship stuff, toxic relationship stuff that's going on right now. Like they're going too far. Well, both sides, the Shay side, and the Cassandra and Jane side are both going too far to have the other side like them. And it's making me so uncomfortable. And I get that's what you're supposed to feel, but like, also, do I want to feel that way? I don't know. And I don't, but the thing is I don't want to DNF it. I don't know. I'm not sure what I want to do. But also, like, I kind of want to know. Like, I kind of want to, like, skip the second part and just go straight to the first part. That's kind of what I want to do. There's 3 parts, and I want to skip the second one and go right to the third part to see how it ends. I'm in a crossroads about this book. I think I'm just gonna keep reading, but I have a feeling that I'm going to regret not just DNFing this book. I don't know, I'm usually pretty good about DNFing books. It's just the fact that I think what's having me struggle is, one, it's would be the second book that I DNF'd in this vlog, so I don't really want to do that. And second, I'm having a hard time with my own like thought processes about the story, wondering whether or not I'm actually enjoying it, because I'm not used to reading books like this where they make you so uncomfortable, and I get that's what they're trying to do, but I guess like if I'm not enjoying it, I'm not enjoying it. So like I think I'm going to give, so the second part is only like less than 100 pages, I think. 234. So it's like 90 pages. I think if I'm not enjoying it, probably by that point I would just finish it because there's not very much left after that. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm still going to continue because it's like 2 hours left with how fast I'm reading the audiobook or listening to the audiobook. So I think I'm just going to keep going. But I will update you if I change my mind. Which, you know, this whole update was me trying to saying I don't like this book and I'm gonna continue reading. So I don't know what that says about me. I thing is like usually I'm pretty easygoing with books. So when I find a book that I'm not very jiving with, it's hard for me to admit that sometimes. So I just DNF it. But like I'm also curious of what's going on. But did I look into other people and people's opinion and them saying that the ending's not that great? Yeah, I did. I am going to hopefully continue reading or not. Next update, you'll know if I continued or not. That's what we're gonna go with. And I will talk to you whether I finish the book or I've decided that I'm not going to continue it. One of those options are going to be happening. And I have a feeling that if it's the me finishing it option, I'm going to come on here and be like, I should have DNF'd it. I just have this feeling, okay? Just got this feeling. No one's surprised, at least not mine. I am indeed just DNFing this. After I stopped talking to you, I ended up watching the Literally Dead Book Club video or live show for this book. I watched the whole thing and I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Now I know everything anyway because I got spoiled because I watched the video. And there's like certain things that we find out. We find out why Amanda goes in front of the train and stuff, which is something that I picked up on from the beginning, or at least that was my theory, and it was right, which is always fun. But like, I did not care enough to figure that out. Also, some of the plot twists that they talked about in the live show, I just didn't care. Like, that wouldn't. I mean, they were when they talked about it in the live show, they were like that it's a plot twist that didn't do anything to the plot. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Like that's how it seems to me when they're talking about it. I just don't care enough to continue reading this book, so I'm going to stop. And I am not at all, I do not care at all. So, DNFing, you are not alone. Hopefully, I finish the next two books. I probably wanted to pick this up if I wasn't reading it for reading literally Dead Book Club picks. But I don't know my opinions on thrillers and stuff, so I wanted to give all of them a shot to see, which I should trust my opinion. But the thing is, sometimes my thoughts and opinions on how I'm going to like a book is wrong. I didn't think I was going to like A Dowry of Blood by St. S.T. Gibson, and I adore that book. It's like top tier book for me now that I read it. Sometimes my opinions on how I'm going to enjoy or not enjoy a book are wrong. So I'm not going to let it affect my reading, because the next book is going to be Fragments of the Lost by Megan Miranda. And once again, I have no idea what this is about. I'm going to assume someone's lost and they're trying to find them. Kind of like in the other people, someone was lost and someone was trying to find them. I doubt it's going to be at all similar. That's just what my brain went to first. But if I had to guess right now, I'm going to say that this would be like 3 stars maybe. I don't know why I have this feeling that I'm not going to like it that much. I'm going to like it, but not like that much. But that's how I feel. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I adore it. I feel like I just have this opinion because I haven't heard many people talk about this book. Hopefully I enjoy it. That's what I'm hoping. I don't want to DNF another book in this video. So let's start reading. So I'm now about a third of the way into the book, and to be honest, it doesn't feel much like a thriller to me. It feels more like it's a romance than a thriller mystery to me. I mean, it's kind of weird to call it a romance when one person isn't there, but still that's how I feel. I do have more insight into what this book is about, and yes, I was wrong with what this book is about, which is not surprising to me because I didn't read the description. You follow Jessa as she's trying to pack up her ex-boyfriend's stuff after he's passed away, because her mom is basically forcing her to do that as like punishment, I guess, because her mom thinks that she's the reason that Caleb, the son slash ex-boyfriend of Jessa, died, which, you know, is so nice of her to do. As Jessa is packing up Caleb's stuff in the room, different objects are sparking memories of their time together. That's my favorite part about the story so far, is how the story is being told by these different objects in the room. It's a very unique way of doing it, in my opinion, and I am enjoying that part. But overall, like, it's not very thrilling. Like, I'm just reading it to read it, I guess. Like, I'm not disliking it, but I'm not loving it either. It's just okay at the moment. It's kind of slow going. Like, we're learning about her relationship with Caleb and how people have reacted to Caleb's death and like, people's opinions about their relationship. And we do know that Jessa is trying to figure out what Caleb was doing the day he died. Nothing really is catching my interest very much. Like, I'm kind of curious about why he died, but this also doesn't feel like a thriller. Mostly it's about finding out how Caleb and Jessa got together and why they broke apart at the moment. I feel that we are about to get in more of that mystery aspect, I guess. It's like on the cusp of changing, But as I'm almost 100 pages into this, or I'm 100 and almost 130 pages into this, and it doesn't feel like a thriller mystery yet, makes me like, what are we doing here? I mean, I guess the mystery is trying to figure out what he was doing, what Caleb was doing the day he died, and why he was there in the first place, I guess. And I guess that's what it's going to continue to be. So we'll see. I'm enjoying it enough that I want to continue. Like, I don't care, but also I'm intrigued a little bit. Like, I'm a little bit intrigued. I'm intrigued enough that I don't want to stop reading. So there's that, at least. Anyways, I'm going to continue, and hopefully something starts happening, and I'll get back to you. I am now about 100 pages from the end, and I'm definitely enjoying it more now, and I'm more intrigued about what they're trying to uncover. I like, the more I hear about what is going on, the more I'm like, what is happening? I want to know, which I guess is the whole point. I know it wasn't totally fully accurate when I said that it felt more like a romance, which it did, because we were like getting the development of Caleb and Jessa's relationship, which was very interesting, but also not what I was expecting when I went into the story. It is getting to be more of a mystery now. Well, yes, there was a mystery before. I'm more invested in the mystery now. What it makes me feel is I'm just feel very sad about Jessa and Caleb's relationship, because at the start they seemed like so like sweet, and then it just progressively, like, they didn't trust each other, and that's like the main thing. They didn't trust each other with their lives, which you can't really have a relationship without trust, in my opinion. Like, that's like something you need to have with each other. The things that she's uncovering, I'm just like, I feel some secrets. I mean, well, yes, you can have secrets, but there's some things that if you keep secret are so big that I don't think is right to keep from the person you supposedly love. But that's what I have. But then again, with the way it's her ex-boyfriend, so like, obviously it didn't stay that way anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And some things that you find out about what Jessa has done makes you be like, okay, so it's not, there was reasons why they broke up, is what I'm getting at. So I still, one of my favorite things about how the story is developing is that you're not getting a linear story. I am still really enjoying how you're getting glimpses of the story about Caleb and Jessa's life and what went down the day that Caleb died, because of these objects jogging a memory in Jessa. And I find that very fascinating personally, and I'm really glad that this book chose that way of doing it, because I don't know how this story would have unfolded, or how much I would have enjoyed it if they did it in like a linear format. But because we're just getting spoon-fed these bits and pieces of the story and we're not seeing the full picture, it's more entertaining to read. Anyways, so I guess I'm going to finish the last 100 or so pages and come back with an update about how I feel about the ending, which, in my opinion, can make or break a story. So hopefully it continues in this upward trajectory, and I continue to enjoy it even more as I continue to read, which is, what everyone hopes when they're reading a story. So I'm gonna get back to it. I have finished Fragments of the Lost by Megan Miranda, and it was really good, and it definitely did get better as it went on. I think you got more invested in each of the characters the longer the story went on. I do think that the start was a little slow to get me invested. Like, the first update, I was like, it's okay, it's fine. I don't want to quit, but like, also, like, it's fine. But I'm glad that I kept going, because it turned out to be a really good book and better than I was expecting. Maybe that was because I was going into the story with the wrong expectations about what it was about. It definitely was a different story than I thought I was getting myself into which is fine because I really enjoyed this one, and I'm glad that this video series that I'm hopefully doing made me pick this story up because I really enjoyed it. I really didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I did. Especially, I thought I was correct in my thoughts on how I was going to enjoy it the first 100 and so pages, and then it starts picking up and the mystery part starts being more prevalent, and you start getting more interested in what's going on, or at least that's how it happened for me. I got more interested and more invested, and I was like wanting to know what was going on. Also, the start 100 and something pages, I still like, it's not like I don't think they needed to be there, because I think they do need to be there. It's a lot of build up and setup in the first 100 and so pages. Plus, there's certain things that go down or are talked about in the first part of the story that do come back later to help with the mystery, which I think is a good job on the author's part for doing that. When they brought something up from the beginning and it kind of like clicked into place, all these threads that were happening, I was like, man, if I had remembered that happened, I probably would have thought more about what Jessa was uncovering and what all of that meant. But I didn't remember it until Jessa remembered that happened and started thinking about it. And I'm like, man, this is why I don't think I would get. I'm very good at predicting plot twists in a story, because I will forget something from the beginning that's pretty important to the plot. But it's said in such a way that it's like a one-off thing that your mind thinks it's not very important. So I just didn't think about it. Like at the time, I was like, oh, that's a little sus. But like, that's all I thought. And so it kind of just left my mind the more I read, until Jessa starts talking about it, which was nice, which was interesting. Anyways, I enjoyed it. Definitely glad that I read this story, even with my low expectations. And maybe my low expectations made this story better than it actually is. I do think though that while I enjoyed this story, it's also one of those stories that it's gonna leave my mind pretty quickly, if I'm being honest. But I still enjoyed it, so that's all you really need, really. So there. And so the next book that is on the agenda for this video, the last book of the video, is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I'm pretty excited to read this book. I think I'm going to enjoy it. I'm pretty sure that this is like an And Then They Were None sort of story by Agatha Christie. That's what the inspiration for the story is. Have I ever read that story? No. So I'm going into this completely blind. And maybe I'm wrong and it's not that, because what do I know? But I'm excited to get to this book and see if it aligns with what I enjoy in these types of stories. I'm about to find out. So I'm gonna start reading. Okay, I am 86 pages into The Guest List by Lucy Foley, and I am not hating it, but I'm not liking it yet either. I don't have a lot of strong opinions, except for the fact that I feel like I am following younger characters than I am. It feels like a lot of high school mean girl drama, if that makes any sense. And I'm not sure if I am enjoying that part. I think the fact is that you're not supposed to really, like, you're supposed to be suspicious of everyone, I guess, because the the way it's set up, the murder hasn't really happened, but it kind of has happened. There's like you only get snippets of when the murder happened, and we don't even know who's been murdered yet, or at least I don't know who's been murdered yet. It's still up in the air. I think I know who's getting murdered, but like It hasn't been set on page yet, so I'm not gonna say. Obviously, if I'm 86 pages into a book and it hasn't said, I don't think you're supposed to know. I mean, you could have ideas, especially with the list of people on the back. You probably have an idea of who ends up murdered, but I don't know who it is. And to top off the whole feels like I am watching high school mean girl drama is that the amount that these people talk about sex is kind of excessive, in my opinion, in my I don't even want to opinion. It grosses me out opinion. And I'm like, can you guys go a couple pages without mentioning sex? I don't think you can. And I'm like, why do you have to mention it every few pages? I don't understand. I don't get it. But for each their own, I guess. I don't know. Maybe this is just a me problem and no one else noticed when they read this book. There's also a part that kind of triggering content that came out of nowhere. Not nowhere because you didn't know the character, but like also unexpected, which was like it wasn't triggering content for me, but for other people it could be triggering, is why I'm bringing it up. Anyways, that's really all I have to say. I guess I don't really have much positive things to talk about. I guess I should say what this book is about. I don't think I've said yet, except I've been complaining about it. But basically, it's these group of people that come to this very remote island that you can only get to by boat, and it's very windy, and it's like the coast of Ireland, I think. I think. And this really extravagant woman, what's her name? Okay, I'm not too lazy to look. Jules Keegan. So Jules is a magazine editor or something for fashion, and she's getting married to Will, who is an actor for this show, I guess, a survivalist show. And something happens at this wedding that is not pleasant, and it's a murder, or a dead body is found, and stuff happens from there. Except actually, it's so far at the moment, it's just the lead up to the wedding day. It's like all the people arriving, and you're understanding the dynamics between all the characters, and it's giving hints to reasons why a murder could happen, which is why I'm saying that I think I know who's going to die. But I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. But we'll see. I think it's okay so far. Like, I'm not hating it. I'm just not liking it either, which is what I started this with. I just feel like it's alright. Maybe once we actually get into more of the murder portion, or the after the murder has happened portion, I will start enjoying it more, possibly while they try to figure out who did it. But at the moment, I am a I'm in a I don't care at the moment sort of deal. We'll see if that gets better, because these books have proven me wrong. Usually the first third of the book so far in these have been like build up, set up to see what's going to happen, and then it gets better after that. So I'm hoping that's what goes down, that's what's happening in this story, and I'll start enjoying it more than I do at the moment. So let's hope that's what happens. And I will get back to you when I have more to say about the guest list. So I'm now about 100 pages to the end, a little over 100 pages to the end, and I am indeed enjoying it more. I mean, I guess as much as you can enjoy a story like this, but also I find it weird that it's 100 pages to the end, and I feel like they're pretty obvious, or at least in my head it's pretty obvious, the person that's going to be found dead. But at the same time, they haven't really said. If I'm wrong, I will be highly surprised and have to like rethink everything I thought in the first place, because I'm trying to piece together the different reasons why, because on the back it says everyone has a motive. I am pretty sure I know most of the people's motives of why they want to hurt this person that I think is about to die. Haven't really confirmed that yet or not. I will say though, whenever they talk about this boarding school that the groomsmen, well, I think they're called ushers, but I think they're basically groomsmen, and the groom went to growing up, I'm like, I would never send my kid there. I don't plan on having kids, but if I ended up having a kid or like one of them, I would never send them in there. Like that's the way they talk about it, and they're like laughing like it's a great time, like it's so funny. I'm like, are you insane? And I'm like, you guys are, none of you are nice people. None of you are nice people. And the way Jules, the bride, acts with something that happens to her sister makes me so angry. I'm not even gonna lie. I feel like the only two people that I sort of like is Hannah and Olivia. Nobody else is a good person. And actually, sometimes Hannah does some stuff or thinks some things that has me questioning her as well, I will admit. Olivia is just depressed. Like, she's just so sad. And she needs therapy, is what she needs. And with a family like hers, I don't think she's gonna get it. Hopefully, at the end of the story, they talk about her getting therapy because she is in desperate need. I am very intrigued and I want to know what is going to happen. I do think it's weird that we still haven't had the murder, and I'm 100 pages to the end, and I think that was definitely not what I was expecting. I thought we would get the murder. I mean, we kind of did, but like not really. I don't know how to, like, there's just snippets of the point in time where they found the body, and the rest of it is just lead up to that point. And I thought that it was going to be more of the aftermath of finding the body and less of the lead up to it, which is fine. I'm not saying I'm not saying it didn't meet my expectations of how well I would like it. I'm just saying my expectations of how the story would go wasn't what's actually happening. I don't mind it, except for the fact that I want to finish this so I could figure out what was going to happen, what happened, and I hope that everyone who deserves bad things gets those bad things happening to them. Just saying, just just saying. I pretty much don't like any of the guys in this story, if that tells you anything. I don't like Jules. Aoife, Aoife, I think her name is the wedding planner. I haven't talked about much about her, but I don't mind her. Like she is one of the people listed on the back of the thing, and I'm like, I don't she's all right so far. I like how we're getting her point of view because we get a little bit of more backstory about the island, which is interesting, but I don't see how her role in the story yet. I still don't mind her chapters though, but also I don't know how much it would. I mean, maybe I'll change my tune later after I finish it, but I, at the moment, don't know what her point of view is doing for the story. She is a suspect, according to the back of this book, so it probably is relevant. I just haven't seen the relevance yet. I almost didn't do this update because I didn't think I was going to have a lot to talk about, but apparently I did. Now, the next update is going to be me finishing this book, unless something really much happens that I desperately need to talk to you about before the end, but I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I doubt it. So I'm going to finish the guest list and then talk to you when I'm done. So I finally finished the guest list by Lucy Foley, and the ending was great. And I really enjoyed that ending and how the lead up to it. You definitely don't get the murder until the very last second. You really don't. And also, I'm going to double down on the fact I would not want to send anyone that I know and love to this school that these boys went to, because everyone's horrible there. But this was very entertaining. I know it took a second for me to get really into it, but even the beginning part, when I said I liked it, I didn't love it though. I was still intrigued enough to continue. So, and obviously, I feel like that's always what I've been doing. Is it takes me a bit to get into a story before I'm like, okay, I very much enjoy this, and that's what this was, and I very much enjoyed my time. The I will say, like, at the my first update, I talked about how often sex is brought up. That does die down, thankfully. I mean, less it doesn't get brought up as often as it did in the beginning. And also, I mean, really the only thing that I was like, man, I wish they'd gone more depth is the aftermath stuff. Like, it really did a quick little wrap up portion of it after everything happens. And I wish there was just a smidge more closure about a couple things that get brought up that they don't talk about again. But other than that, I really enjoyed myself and I would definitely recommend this book. I mean, I will say there is some content things, like someone does self harm in this book, and I would definitely look stuff up like that if you have triggers or whatever. I have a feeling that thriller, mystery books like that all need to be. You should look up trigger warnings because you never, unless you're one of those people that look up everything about a book before you start reading it, which is not me. I go into things blind. You should look up trigger warnings and things to make sure that it's safe for you to read. Just figured I should put that out there. But anyways, that means that I've finished, or at least attempted to finish, the first 5 picks for the Literally Dead Book Club, which has me very excited. I'm super excited. And if you've gotten this far, thank you so much, because I know this video is going to be very long because I've already edited almost every clip before you got to this one, and it's already over an hour. Unless I cut some stuff out to make it shorter, I very much appreciate you sticking to watching this video, and I hope, since you watched this far, I'm assuming you enjoyed yourself. So hopefully that is accurate. Anyways, so let's go do a little overview of what I've done in this video. I'm going to start with the books that I DNF'd, which were 2 books, but 2 out of 5 is not too bad. I finished more than half, so I count that as a win. I DNF'd Platform 7 by Lewis Dowdy. And it's probably, I don't know, like I DNF'd this one really quickly. So, do I regret DNFing it? Not really. Like, I don't feel the need nor the desire to continue. It hasn't stuck in my head or anything. So, I think it was a good plan for me to DNF this book. And then I got a little bit further in You Are Not Alone before I DNF'd it. And I don't really care about this one either. So I think my decision to DNF it was grand. And I feel like I won't really think about it much in the future, except for how bad that these friendship dynamics were. Other than that, I'm okay with not finishing this. And then the 3 books I did finish, so let's start with the order. The Other People by CJ Tudor, the first Literally Dead Book Club pick. And I'm glad that I read this. It really does make me want to read more of CJ Tudor. The only real negative thing was trying to think of how to say this without spoiling, but there is a very short spurt towards the end where it brings something up that is a part of this story and then to a more extreme, and it's never really explained. It's never very talked about. Like, no one questions it. And I'm like, I don't know if that's my vibe. I would like to know why that was in there. So, and then I read Fragments of the Lost by Megan Miranda, which was a surprise for me personally because I thought I would like it, but I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I did. Definitely the way in which it is told is my favorite part. Not even gonna deny that. Also, the end bit where everything is revealed. I don't remember if I talked about this in the clips before. It's been a second, okay? But the way things are revealed in the end, most of it is found out by clues and stuff, but then there's some parts where there's a certain part where it's like, oh, so you figured this stuff out, let me tell you the rest. And that was, it was okay, but also like whatever. But overall, did enjoy myself, so happy I read it. And then finally, I just talked about the guest list, so I feel like I don't really have to say much about it because I just talked about it not too long ago in this same clip. But I did enjoy this. It was very much fun. And I think out of the 5, this ended up actually being my favorite of the bunch. But it was really good and highly entertaining once I got into the story. So that is the first episode of me reading the Literally Dead book club picks. Hopefully you come back for the next one. And if you are unaware of the next 5 picks of the Literally Dead book club, I will let you know that it is Zone 1 by Colson Whitehead, Home Before Dark by Riley Sager, Catherine House by Elizabeth Thomas, One by One by Ruth Ware, and finally, The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. So now that it is over, if you want to talk to me in the comments about any of the books I read, I would be perfectly okay with that. Or if you want to tell me what books on the next episode you're most excited to see my opinions on, you can also say that as well. Please, no spoilers in the comments about the books that I have not read, or you can put a spoiler tag. I don't care. As long as you're not spoiling people. Specifically me, because I don't want to be spoiled. I obviously, you did not catch it from this video. I pretty much always go into books blind, so that's just how I roll, I guess. I hope you had fun because I'm really excited about the series, and I hope you are excited for the next episode. And hopefully I am better at planning how I am reading these books, because I kind of read these books back to back to back, and the whole point of me to make this episode every other month is so that I don't have to do that, so that I could read other books besides these books for this video. That didn't really happen this time, but I'm hoping that I'm better at it for the next episode. And I hope to see you there, and hopefully I'll have another video out soon. But as always, I make no promises. Bye!